What is up, everybody, and welcome back for another episode of Jesse's Drone Adventures. Today we are going to be checking out the Wauneta Trading Post. It's located just off of Highway 89 on the way to Gray Mountain, Arizona, and it's old, it's creepy, it's abandoned. I'm super excited about this video, so let's just get right into it. Let's go! Alright guys, right before we get into the video, I just want to say make sure you stay until the very end because the gentleman you see right here actually used to work at this trading post back in the 1970s. And I am still super shocked that I just happened to go there on the same day that he was out on vacation and decided to go back and check out his old place of employment. So if you want to see the interview, just make sure you stay until the very end. Now, let's get back to the video. Alright, so we just got to the Abandoned Wauneta Trading Post. We're going to walk around, walk through, check it out, and see what's left. First off, we got this old basketball hoop here. That looks like it has been there for quite some time. It actually looks like the old basketball hoop at my parents' place when we were growing up, before they replaced it in like 2000. Old hitching post where Johnny Law would tie up his horse before he went inside and poured himself a whiskey. And here, my friends, we have the old Wauneta Trading Post. I don't know when it went out of commission, but it looks like it has seen some better days. Let's see what we got here. Hewitt Industrial Co. quality. Let me know what that is in the comments section down below, if you know. Alright, so now we're going to make our way inside the trading post. I saw a video on YouTube where this one guy kind of snuck around back and went in, so we're going to go that way. Oh look, it is just my size. Let's walk through here. Ugh. We'll check out the back in just a second, but I want to see what's in here real quick. Honey, I'm home. Just a bunch of junk. Old sink, bunch of old plastic cups. Those ones are still in the packaging too. Just a bunch of old junk. Over there it looks like they have replacement doors for the fridge inside. Alright, so now we're going to make our way around back and see what's back here. Let's see what's behind door number 2. A crow. And another one. Just sitting there. So I just got a very ominous feeling. When you hear crows and start to see them, which I just did, it makes me think of that movie Jeepers Creepers. Like the part where Trish and Derry are driving by the old abandoned church and they see the creeper throwing bodies down that hole. This is an abandoned building, so I'm a little sketched out and I'm kind of worried, but you know what? I have stuff to do, so we're just going to continue filming. $2,500-gallon water tank. That's been graffitied. I'm probably not going to go in any further. Alright. Then we'll make our way back here. I'll make our way through here. Leap up. Ugh. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Rodent droppings everywhere. Ah, here we have the sink. Where they did the dishes. Just gotta be careful because you never know what could be hiding underneath this stuff. Paper towels. Really could have used those at the last gas station I went to. Looks like just more junk. Another bathroom back there. Old boxes. Ugh. You know, I just saw a YouTube video where this lady went and explored an old abandoned bar, and it was infested with rattlesnakes. What a great time to bring it up. All right. Here we have the main area. Junk everywhere. Oh, look at this. Calculator. 85 times 422. Cashing in with government grants, loans, and subsidies. Not a whole lot going on there. Creepy room back there. Water heater. I'm definitely not going back there because that's just creepy. Here we have the register area. Ooh! Thank you to my sponsors. This certainly does feel like a prison. Another exit and entrance. So the one thing I always think to myself when I come to visit these places is, I wonder how much of this junk was actually just left here from when it was last open, and I wonder how much of this was just dumped here. I bet a lot of it was just left here, because a lot of this just looks like the bulk packaging for the items. Bubblegum! More shelves. Refrigerators where they kept ye olde Bud Light, Coors, and other alcoholic beverages. Let's just open this up. Grab an invisible beverage. I bet that was probably either another walk-in or just more area for food items. Here we got more shelving. You know, I'm not one to judge because I'm not perfect myself, but a broom and dustpan would do a whole lot for this place. Just a little bit. A little soap and water, mop the floor, couldn't hurt. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. Oh yeah, animals definitely live in there. I bet this is where they put, like, jewelry, high quality value stuff. Whoa. Found that. Is there a note on the back? That is cool. Well, I don't know who you guys are, but if you ever come across this video and see this picture, message me. I'd love to hear about your trip here. Well, that's pretty much all there is to see in here. So now we're gonna go out back and check out the green room and see what we can find back there. So here we have the green room. We're gonna walk around it real quick before we go in and check out the rest of these sheep images. Upon first glance, this stuff is actually similar to the one over up at the Anasazi Inn area near Gray Mountain, up the road like 10-15 miles. Wonder if there wasn't some correlation between this stop and that stop. Looks like there's more sheep on this side. Sheep, sheep. Almost tripped, damn it. And we're going in. Wow, it's really, really green. Some signatures from people that stopped by. Ah, what's this? The green room, a place of meditation and contemplation. I can only wonder what went on out here. So back in the day, this is where you'd cook your steaks, your burgers, and your chicken. If you were a dad, you would typically have like 2 to 3 beers up there drinking while you're flipping. I mean, that's just the American way. Being out in places like this, it totally reminds me of that movie Tremors with Kevin Bacon and I don't know the other guy. His name was Earl in the movie. But the reason why it reminds me of places like this is because you have the open desert and you have these old jimmy rigged posts right here. Looks like at one point they were updated. You can see the steel ones right there. But this just has that look, just like the Tremors movie. Graboids. Walter, forget the dang name. Oh. How's it going? Oh, no kidding?
In the 70s.
Keep on recording. This is...
I worked here 74, 75 with a guy named Floyd, and his wife was named Rosie. She was Navajo.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, this was a booming business then, man. I mean, we did a lot of buying. We bought lambs from locals. We bought lamb. We bought wool. We bought pine nuts, the piñons.
Okay.
Jewelry, pottery, rugs, all that kind of stuff, and then sold a lot of stuff back. But yeah, there was a company, they owned a half a dozen of these places. There's another one called Borderland over north of Winslow.
Okay.
I worked in that one too, both places, and both were the same way. They were true trading posts at that time. They weren't tourist traps. We dealt with local people buying and selling from them.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was rare to have a tourist drop in, but,
Sure.
but we did a big business, and then a lot of the stuff that we bought would be pretty good quality, and it wind up in going down to Phoenix to shops in Phoenix and being sold in Phoenix. This was in the mid 70s.
Yeah, I wasn't even around back.
Yeah.
If you don't mind me asking, I was kind of wandering around out back.
Yeah.
And I saw like a grill, and it looked like water spigots. Was this kind of like a rec area, RV park too?
No, we had two trailer houses out back.
Oh.
For the people who worked here. Floyd and his wife lived in one, and I lived in the other. But that was employee housing, because it's way too far to come from anywhere. But that's what that was. And there was corrals out back that we used to hold sheep and cattle and other livestock that we'd buy from the local people.
Awesome. I was kind of when I was making this video back there, I was taking a look, and I'm like, I bet this was that, and this was that, making all these assumptions. But the fact that you're here now can kind of confirm some of that. It just totally makes this, it's like a 3-hour drive from where I live, so this totally makes it worth it. I learned a lot so far.
Cool, man. I'm glad I stopped by.
What was your name?
Bill. My name's Bill Wilson.
Jesse.
Jesse.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Jesse.
Awesome.
Yeah, this was quite. I mean, we sold frozen meat like steaks, and I mean, it wasn't just tourist jewelry. It wasn't like selling moccasins and crap like you see out on Route 66. This was a market. This was a marketplace for local people.
I was curious too. I didn't see any foundations out front, but did they have gas pumps here as well?
No, we didn't do gas here.
Okay.
No gas here. There was a couple of gas stations in Gray Mountain, which is just about 5 miles on down the road to Gray Mountain.
Yep.
There's a funny story about Gray Mountain. The
Yeah.
bar's not there anymore. The building's still there, but there used to be a bar in Gray Mountain. And they had a hitching rail out back. And if you got a little drunk and a little rowdy, they would handcuff your ass to the hitching rail in back of the building and leave you out there until you sobered up enough to let you come back inside. I never got locked to the hitching rail, but I saw a few guys do.
That's a good way to handle things, though. Kind of set you straight.
Well, there wasn't a cop within 100 miles of the place.
I suppose they kind of had to be their own.
Yeah, so yeah, if you got drunk and rowdy, they'd just take you out back and they handcuffed your ass to the hitching rail and left you there you'd be out there for a couple hours till you sobered up enough, then they'd let you back inside and serve you another beer. No hard feelings.
Yeah, that's... I've never heard of that before.
Yeah, that was up in Gray Mountain.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool place to hang out.
Wow, that is so cool. So Floyd and Rosie were the original owners?
They weren't owners. I can't remember the name of the consortium. It was a group of people that owned several of these trading posts.
Okay.
And we all worked for them. Yeah, they had 5 kids. Kind of a sad story about them. She died. She went in for a gallbladder surgery, minor surgery, and while I was here, and she had an allergic reaction, I guess, to the anesthetic, and she was in a coma for 2 weeks and then died. And then I was back here about 5 or 6 years after that, and Floyd, about 2 years after Rosie died, the tribe came and took the kids away from him, because they were 3 of them were full-blood Navajo and the other 2 were half. So the tribe took custody of the kids when Rosie died and wouldn't leave them with Floyd, and he'd never adopted the 3 anyway. And then about 2 years after that, he was coming out of Flagstaff, ran his car off the road on a corner up there and killed himself in a car wreck.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah, like I said, not all the memories here were good memories.
Yeah. It's tragic. I mean, and especially to see this place the way it is, and then to hear the backstory, it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, this was, like I said, man, this was a booming business, man, once upon a time.
Do you know what was in there?
Compressor.
Okay, and I was definitely wrong.
No, this is the compressor for the freezers.
Okay.
The ice boxes, you can see the ice boxes in here still.
Yeah.
And that was the equipment, the compressors for the refrigeration unit for the refrigerators and ice boxes, the freezers. We had, you can see there, those were cold cases for beer and shit. And then back in the back corner were freezers where we had steak and all kinds of stuff. We sold milk, eggs, and butter, all that kind of stuff, a lot of staples. I mean, we moved a lot of, for as small as this place was, we had a lot of stuff. And back in this door here, you can see into it, there's a vault that had a heavy, there's a vault in there. I mean, it's got a vault door, everything. Yeah, there was a vault. We had all the valuables went into the vault. And again, if we had a good week, we had a lot of money in jewelry and rugs and stuff. Heck, I bought a rug one time that was worth over $3,000 here. And that was in the 70s. It was an antique Navajo weaving of a Yebiche rug. And Yebiche is the primary Navajo god. And and it was a Yebiche rug. And we bought that thing. It was worth over $3,000. It was a very nice piece.
Dang.
And then back this room, that was our just store room, just where we kept the cases of wine that we sold cases at a time.
I guess this area right here is probably just a checkout register.
That was just the counter, yeah. That was the checkout register, and we had the case here. We kept rings and stuff in for tourists mostly.
Okay.
It would be open till 9, 10 o'clock at night. If I was bored, hell, there wasn't nothing to do, I'd stay in here and just keep it open.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Wow. What are you going to do, go sit in a trailer? I wouldn't come to work. I'd come to work like noon. Floyd would open it up, and then I'd come in at noon, and then he'd go back about 4 o'clock, and then I'd stay here till 9, 10 o'clock. When I felt like closing it up, I closed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave us a salary so much a month and a place to live with utilities, so.
I have a question. What was just straight back here? Was that just shelving for more goods?
It was just shelving for more goods. That's all that was. Where looks like that pegboard and stuff. That's all. That was all shelving, and then we had 3 aisles up and down the center that ran the length of the building. We had about 3 aisles, and like I said, there was freezers in back full of frozen food, and then the cold cases. And
interesting.
I'm almost tempted to climb the fence and go in. That door is open over there, but we have to climb the fence.
I did go in earlier too. I've been up here for like 3 hours.
Yeah.
I kind of did like a perimeter walk, and then I kind of snuck back in through the back, went in. I was kind of worried just because it was like, I don't know, all the glass in there, and then I saw this video on the internet where this lady was exploring old abandoned buildings, and there was some rattlesnakes in them. So I was like, I just kind of went in.
Oh yeah. Well, an old building like this is a habitat for rodents,
Yeah.
Rats and mice and pack rats and stuff, and they live in here, and where there's rodents, that's snake food, bud.
Yeah.
You know, so if there's a good place for rodents, there'll be a good place for rattlesnakes. So yeah, if you're doing this kind of stuff very much, you want to make noise coming in.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, make a lot of noise, stomp your feet, kick shit around, make a lot of noise, and then they'll let you know if they're there or not. And if they're there, then leave them the hell alone.
Yep, that's my philosophy.
Because they'll leave you alone if you leave them alone. Rattlesnake ain't going. He can't eat you. He ain't gonna fuck with you.
Yeah, might try to intimidate me a little bit, but yeah, rattlesnakes. I don't do rattlesnakes. If they're there, I haven't come across one yet. But if I always try to wear long stuff like this and just try to be cautious.
Long baggy jeans. Yeah. I got leather straps on and boots. But that's more motorcycle gear than anything else.
Yeah, well protected against the elements. Trying to imagine what it would look like back in the day when it's just got people at the register, people coming through, buying stuff.
We had a steady stream all day long.
Were these always here too, or is this something kind of new?
No, these weren't here when I was here. None of the windows had bars on them.
Interesting.
And a lot of this stuff that's boarded up down here was windows. Like all this stuff in here.
Yeah.
This was all windows. Somebody's boarded that up one time or another. But that was all windows. We didn't have any bars on the windows. This was the front door, back door. Used to hang a neon Budweiser sign in that window and an Olympia neon sign in that window, and you come over that hill, you can see that freaking sign bigger than Dallas, man. I used to hang out sometimes at night after we'd close. It'd be kind of cool, man. The bats would come in, the moths would come in for this light, and the bats would come swooping in and chase the freaking moths around that light, and you could sit here and just watch. I mean, it wasn't a hell of a lot to do out here, man. So I'd sit out here and watch the bats, chase moths at night, man. It was cool as shit.
Cheap entertainment.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty cool place, man.
Is that the original fencing then?
Yep, that was there in the 70s. We had a different gate, obviously, down there, but yeah, that board fencing was there. Both sides. That's exactly the way it was. Parking lot had a little bit better pavement on it.
I do have another question for you. So, that sign over there says something about like radioactive pollution. I've seen a lot of signs out here that mention like uranium pollution, mining, and whatnot. Is there any backstory to that?
They were just, during World War II and after, during when all the atomic buildup, there was a lot of uranium mining done out in this area, and there wasn't a whole lot of regulation on pollutants and stuff, so they were pretty dirty, and that's about all that is really. This wasn't a test site. Now you go over by Las Vegas, that's a whole nother story over there with radioactive pollution.
Been there a couple times.
But but that was just, there was several mines in this area that where they mined uranium during the war and just after during the Cold War.
Oh.
But that's about all that is really. But they've never been cleaned up, and some of them have never been officially closed. So you don't clean it up if it's not closed.
Yeah.
That's just like there's refineries in California that haven't produced a barrel of gasoline in 30, 40 years, but they've never been closed.
Oh.
They're still active, because if it's active, you don't have to do an impact statement and clean up the environmental impact.
Okay.
So a lot of this stuff that you might see, it looks like it's closed and abandoned, but it's never been officially closed.
Okay.
So they keep it open so they don't have to clean it up.
Little loophole there.
Big loophole there. That's all that was. There was a water tank out there. Well, that was another thing. There's no water on the property. There never was. Once a week, I took a tanker truck into Cameron and loaded it with water. It was a 500-gallon truck or something. And I'd run that thing into Cameron, and we had a deal with them. I'd load it up with water and bring it back. And then there was water tanks and stuff out back here where the grain room is, I believe. And that's where we'd park the truck. And then our water was pumped into a system from there out of that tanker truck.
Oh, wow.
But we had to haul water in here. In this area back over here, it's empty. That was all pens and corrals where we kept the lambs and sheep. We'd sell sheep and then buy lambs and cattle, horses, whatever. God, if we could make $1 buying it and reselling it,
oh, I'm sure
we would buy it and resell it.
Was this when this place was originally up and running? Was it a pretty happy place to stop in on your way back from the Grand Canyon?
Not much. Like I said, we didn't get a lot of tourists. This was more people, local people living in the area, Native American would stop here. We had some tourist traffic, but no, it wasn't like a regular stop that you know. On top of that, most people at that time anyway would go around through Williams and go to the Grand Canyon through Williams instead of out this route.
Oh, I suppose, yeah, because you can go up 17 and take 40 west, I think it is.
Yeah, you take 40 west, and then at Williams you turn, and the distance actually from Flagstaff to the Grand Canyon, either route's only about a mile's difference, but there's a lot more. Like Williams is a town, you can actually stop and get gas and stuff like that in Williams, whereas coming out this way, there ain't a damn thing, man. This is some desolate region. Floyd and I took off one night in his pickup truck. We had a couple of rifles. We were going to see if we could find some rabbits and spotlight them and have rabbit. Nah. we drove for 3 hours around this desert out here. Couldn't even find one rabbit in 3 hours, man. Yeah, we'd just sat out here at the rifles and set up bottles and shoot and stuff. You're way the hell out in the middle of nowhere. I mean, you were literally in the nowhere out here, man.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, that's about all the time we have for on today's episode. So if you enjoyed what you saw, definitely go ahead and Hulk smash that like button. And don't forget to subscribe. You should subscribe because I have a lot more amazing content coming your guys' way. Also, don't forget to tune in next week when we go spelunking in the Apache Death Cave. We'll see you next week. Take care. This is crazy. This is literally like something out of a horror movie. Ugh.